is uh, in this does the Donald Trump Mike Pompeo suspended, I mean, directive suspended foreign aids to except for Egypt and Israel and other countries. Foreign aid have been stopped. So that begs the question. Nigeria equally receive foreign aid as well too, but do we need this foreign aid given to how blessed we are, beside that, how we mismanage our resources? I'll start with you, Mr. Tony. Okay, then I'll go to KJ.
Well, that's a difficult one. Do we need foreign aid? Well, do we need aid? Yes, every country needs aid. But the underlying word here is foreign. Do we need foreign aid? Um, well, my question will be, how foreign is the aid? Where is it coming from? What are the conditions that are attached to it? What do we want to do? Have a clear perspective of a vision of what we want to use the aid for. Nigeria borrowed about 80. Well, I've forgotten the figure, in 1964 to build the Kainji Dam from the World Bank. I think it's 800 million or something like that. Eventually, the dam was built. Nigeria spent more than that to build it. But you could see a dam, you could see the vision, because you needed electricity to be able to drive development in the country. And from what we read, it was properly invested, and we can see the gains that you have had. Kanji Dam has still remained, supplying power, not to Nigeria alone, to Niger, to Togo, to parts of Togo as well. So yes, if the aid is designed for something that a capital project that will impact positively in the lives of the people, yes. But if you are taking foreign aid, instead of putting it in capital expenditure, you put in recurrent expenditure, like paying salaries, like buying cars for ministers and stuff like that. Something that is not going to really generate really concrete benefits, then that's where the problem is. And then if you are taking aid that are not accountable, and the interests or the conditions tied to it for repayment and so on and so forth are strangulating, then that's another problem. And three, if you are taking foreign aid, you must have worked out the capacity. You must have made some projection as to how you're going to pay it, where you're going to find the revenue. It means you have to, the money to pay. It means that you have to invest it in very productive ventures that will generate money, so that, just like when you go and use your credit card to take a loan, so there must be capacity to pay, because you're going to be paying interest, and then apart from the interest, you still have the capital to pay. Okay. So, and if you default, that's a problem. So those are the things you have to factor in. What do I want to do with it? What will be the benefit? Do I have the capacity to pay? What's your projection when you will pay, and all that? All that is factored in. So if once you have a clear, every country borrows. So once you have a clear perspective of what you want to do with it, and the vision is okay, I think there's nothing wrong, in my opinion,
All
with
right.
that. Yes.
Thank you very much. Adama, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, you're very much familiar with the resources and how we've mismanaged our resources. Do you think Nigeria actually needs foreign aid?
To answer this question, like Mr. Tom said, every country needs foreign aid. My problem is the mismanagement, and there's nothing like accountability in our country. Let's take for instance when COVID happened, all these resources that was poured into our country, the palliative and everything that were given, the people did not receive it. So I am happy he's holding back the aid. Um, yes, Mr. Tone is right. We need aid, but I think we need to start. Why can't we figure out our own stuff? That's my biggest problem with us, Nigeria. Why can't we figure out our own problem? Must we live on aid alone? I mean, that's all I have to say because I just don't want to lose it and go on and on. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Michael Ade, are you there, please? If you're there, can
Yes,
you unmute yourself? Thanks for joining
Pastor. Yes, I'm here. I
joining
mean,
this platform.
thank
Yes,
you so much for having me on your platform.
Mr. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. It's so good
I
to
know,
see you.
Adama. Yes, I really appreciate you because when I was on the other side of the show, and I always try to chime in if time possible. So I'm glad I chime in you here today.
Yes,
What
sir. Thank you, sir.
with your topic today, or what we need to discuss about, in my own opinion, and in perspective of being in Nigeria, lived there for some time. I mean, I came here when I was in my 20s. I think when we look at these 48s coming to Africa, a lot of times the aids are tied to something the other part of the world we gain from it, not solely for the country they're giving aids to. This is what I want us to understand. You will see many aids that are coming to, especially the developing countries. They are given with some conditions that at the end it's not benefiting the people that's supposed to goes to. Is at the end of it is going to turn around to benefit those that is giving it out as a foreign aid. Because I've studied a lot, I've been following all the foreign aid that's been given to Africa all the time. It does not benefit us in terms of development because this money is not used for us to develop ourselves. And then you can see in terms of it, even into this aspect of our educational system, we have most intelligent people in Nigeria today, and we are all spread all over the world. And I don't know, sometimes when I look back, wow, with all this technology, with all our intelligence that we have acquired, we are not able to produce anything. But guess what? It's not our fault. We have to look deep, deep, deep inside. That's to me, it's not a conspiracy, but it's a fact. They do not want Africa to be on its own. They only want Africa to supply the raw material that needs to them. And that's what I'm so grateful when I look at this military junta or military guys that took over this Mali, what do you call it, Togo, I mean, Burkina Faso and the other Nigeria. They're coming up with something. I mean, I believe in democracy. But to me, I'm looking at these guys. They are doing something because of the way maybe a lot of them, they are young. And they have seen what the older people who have ruled Africa have done to us. The atrocity, the negligence that these people have done for their own benefit. That's what I'm talking. That's the issue. 48 is good if it means the people to develop the citizen. And when you look at all the history of 48, it's that never trickled down to a common man on the street that this aid is given to. It's always, you find that this foreign aid, you will see that it goes into the so-called expatriates that are coming to implement a program, and the rest goes to the elite that can use the money and travel abroad and go save and put the money somewhere. So 48 is good what it means the purpose. But for African, we have not benefited from 48. So therefore, to me, I would say it's time African itself to develop their own within themselves. What is 48? Because I see African Union Bank or something led by this Nigerian guy, they are doing something now that African countries don't need to go to IMF and other world this thing to get loan. So they are not trying to create a loan system within Africa that they can give to Africa. And then you guys know, if you know the history of Muammar Gaddafi, that was his aim, and that what causes his downfall. Because the man was saying that, look, let's start our individual African country to our own natural resources. If you have gold, let your money be part of gold. If you have diamond, let your money be part of. So that causes his downfall. But I don't know when that's going to be. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. I really picked on one thing you said is they give you one thing with the right hand and they collect another thing back with the left hand. KJ, I don't know if you're still there. If you're there, can you unmute? And thank you very much. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for staying. Yeah,
You have been in the system as a
yes.
journalist.
I can speak with some level of knowing what goes on behind the scene. The truth is that all these foreign aids are tied to something. They either want you to do certain things that will benefit their own land, or they want you to do something that will be a promotion of one of their values that may not necessarily be your value. But the worst of those aids is the one that they give you 20 naira, and within your own country, they collect 80 naira. Out of the 20 naira giving you, they will take back their 20 naira, remaining 60 naira. Then out of the 60 naira remaining, they will use 20 naira to plow back in your country, and they take away 40 naira back to their headquarters. Of course, you know that the headquarters is not in your country. And they even are doing this, they still bring their friends and cronies and employ them as expatriates who collect the huge monies and run the organization in accordance with what they want to do. Now, there's a Nigerian law that says that when such organization comes in, the management staff must be Nigerians. But you see, those laws are not followed. I used to have a friend of mine who was the country director of one of the companies, I'm not going to call their name, who discovered this thing that they used to do, because they go to customs and immigration and make sure that these laws are not being adhered to. And she took it up with them. That was her end of working for NGOs till today as I talk to you. Because when she took it up with them, the then Minister of Internal Affairs was Ngige. And before these things, even though she took a lawyer, so when you could come and relax. Sorry. Before they were able to, they got a lawyer, these people moved ahead of, because they're very powerful and they have a lot of money. They moved ahead of her, got to the top right echelons of customs and immigration, and indeed, then also the minister's office. And then she was summarily dismissed, and our own people turned against their own person, and they decided to align with the foreign people that this person was not telling the truth, even though they could see it in black and white. They don't even renew their license to operate in our country. And these Nigerians have to cover for them. Not to them, I'm telling you what I know. Our own officials help them to break the law and cover for them. So, and you know that the NGO world is like a secret society. Once they've marked you down, you can hardly get any work, because that's how they spray your name around. And as you go, They will just know that you are the one who wanted to expose their long hidden secrets, and they don't give you any job anymore. So I'm saying this to say that if we decided to, the question is, how many foreign aid do we give to other nations? And if we go there, what values are we going? Are we going to teach them our values, or we're just giving them money to do as they like, as we've done in other African interventions we have done? These guys don't give you money for free. You must have to carry out something that is within their their own planning purpose, their own culture and customs and tradition and belief. And that's why I see a lot of nonsense going on in Africa, because people come with all kinds of stupid agenda. They always look for a clean name to give it. The first time I learned of open society, I never associated it with anybody who want some evil things to be done to other people. But having gone through and having been able to, I mean, that's just one out of which you don't know what they're even doing for your country. But at the end of the day, their values and principles may not be the same thing with what you approve of, readily approve of. So I say that, and again, you see, some of these NGOs help to perpetuate the corruption that even come into fight, because of their mode of operation. And at the end, your people are only getting stipends, and they are cutting away millions. Yes, I can confidently say foreign aid is not needed in Nigeria. If our greedy politicians can swallow their greed, with what we recover from them, we can also be able to give foreign aid, give local aid to all our NGOs who want them to do different things. But you see, the political will is not there. The ability to do it is not there. The manpower, the brain power to do it is not there. To sit down and galvanize ideas is not there. Their desire is like microwave. They just want somebody to give them money and they go out on their spending spree. That's what they want. They want a finished product. They don't want anybody to worry them while they're in government to think about how to develop the nation. They don't want anybody to call them, to order. They don't want any association to question them. That's why, like we earlier said in other broadcasts, that's what makes America beautiful for everybody. In Nigeria, if Tinubu decided to say subsidy is gone and somebody took him on and went to court to test that statement that they made law, today it wouldn't be there.
That's true.
It wouldn't have been there. But we all keep quiet and continue as if nothing has happened. If NBC tomorrow wake up and tell the media houses, you cannot use the term terrorists as against or Fulani herdsmen, Fulani terrorists. You should say farmers headers. Nobody goes to court. That's what they'll be saying. Every time they want to say, they say farmers headers, farmers headers, farmers headers. That's all the whole world came to hear, farmers headers. Instead of actually hearing the truth of what is going on. So basically, in my conclusion, there is no need for foreign aid because it's not helping us achieve anything than to just fuel their corruption. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone has weighed it very well. Personally, my own personal opinion is we don't need foreign aids because we have that resources. I like what you rightly said. We should be giving our own local NGOs money to help assist. We have the resources. Poor management has led us to be where we are today. Lack of transparency. The recovery looted money from Abacha and others. Where is it today? What's the purpose of a foreign aid when we can't even help our own self, our own resources? So it's like you giving me aid, I'm working, I'm earning salary, good salary. I can manage. I failed, not I can manage. I failed to manage my money very well. And you want to give me aid. So, but the truth is they take one thing, they give one thing and they take one thing back in return. The next topic we're going to talk about is in respect to deportation that is happening from the US to other part of the world. In some other countries like India have volunteered to take their illegal citizens back home. And so the question before us here is, should Nigerian president volunteer to bring Nigerians illegal immigrant home? I'll start with you, Adama, this time around, if you're there. Should Nigerian presidents volunteer to bring Nigerians illegal immigrant home, if you're there?
Well, this is one thing I would say. Thank you for starting with me. Yes, I will encourage our president to please, but given our record, we don't have a record of putting our citizens first before any other thing. So I don't expect him to do that. But I will highly encourage it for him to assist our president, President Donald J. Trump, in bringing back home those who are stranded in the United States that are unable to go back. But like I said, Nigeria has a record of not putting their citizens first. So I don't expect that from him. But I would say yes, we should volunteer in terms of that. Assisting the United States president, yes, we should. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Micah, uh, I don't know say yes, the should Nigerian president Tinubu should bring back Nigerians. So let's go by that indeed it happens. Even though I doubt it, give it my reason for doubting is what happened during the Ukraine war. It took days and weeks for uh, Nigeria to go get to the heights of Nigerians. Okay.
Yeah,
Should that happen? What are they going back to?
exactly. Okay. That's thank you so much for that question. Yes, when we look at our history, because to me, I always tell people that history is a science of the past, present, and the future. So if you don't look at what is the past, what are the past of Nigeria accepting or relocating or rehabilitating some of our legal immigrants back home? Because when you look at the situation in Nigeria today, is those people who are in Nigeria today, what have they provided them? Nigeria has no social backup that anybody can fall to. That's why you find that we strive. Our attitude, our mentality is to survive, because that's only our inclination in this planet world. Because guess what? Our government does not provide anything for as a social support. So for me, it's like I'm appealing to whoever is in charge of the government, especially what do you call it, the special Debira Erewa, or what's her name, that is in charge of foreign district. They need to start
Dabiri, I think so.
something like that. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
I
something
mean,
like that.
she has come up with a lot of positive mood. And lately, when you see some situation with the Ukraine, she makes some positive move in the sense that they were able to get some Nigerians back home, and the thing that to me, what I'm glad we bring this subject up, and I know if everybody will agree with me, and those who are listening now, we have some kind of selfish inclination in us that is me alone. Because some of the time when you look at American system, you find that the NGO or non-government or charity organization step up and do a lot of things. Look at, for instance, the fire that happened in West Coast. Do you know how many people who volunteer for crime's sake, not government involved, different area of the society came forward and volunteer and provide food and everything? Do we have in Nigeria? Do we have that? Because sometimes we're screaming government, but sometimes I find out that a lot of things government cannot do alone. He has to come from individual citizens that willingly want to support, want to help. And I find it difficult to see any of that in my own society, in my own Nigerian, where we came from. I don't see it. It may be happening in certain instances, but for in a huge, in a very big situation for them to step up, say, look, you come home, we have this for you, we're gonna support you, we're gonna give this. No, I don't see it happening. And that's why, for me, for crying out loud, I love Nigeria with our capitalist idea. Everybody do your own, make your own money. But sometimes when you make your money from the people, you need to give back. You need to give something back to the people that are supporting your business. And I don't see that in our society. That's why sometimes our elite, our rich people in Nigeria, they are not existent to me. I'm sorry to say, they are not existent, because you make your money is for you. It's not for the people that you are, getting the money from. Because without people buying your product, you cannot be rich. So that's the issue, is that the government alone cannot do it. If the government can sit down and bring some non-governmental, this in the NGO, individual, private organization that can help, I would love them to go ahead and have these people, because when they go back, the question to everyone here is today, when they're going back, go back to what? How can you rehabilitate them? Who's going to give them food? Some of them don't even probably have family. Maybe they've left for a long time. And then our mentality, crying aloud, let's say this. The moment they go back home, do you know they'll be blaming them? That, you have been in America for 10 years. You have been in America for 5 years.
Mr. Michael, can you hold on to that thought? Okay,
Yes.
This thought, you will share it in the main main topic that Adama will be hosting soon. So that's a very important thought. But just hold that. It will be more useful in terms of in the main topic that we will be dealing in a short while. So I'll come back to just hold that, please. It's very important you hold it. So don't disclose it yet. Okay, thank you very much. KJ, I'll come to you in this issue of, should Nigerian president volunteer to bring Nigerian illegal immigrant in? Should it be a case of voluntary or a case of duty to bring them back home?
Well, electricity, what do you want me to tell you?
No,
Look,
hold on.
look,
Adama said, which is right, Nigerian government don't put its citizen first.
yeah,
So
which is
should
true.
it be a case of voluntarily for him or the government to volunteer, or a duty for the government to what? To bring or look after its own citizen?
Government is supposed to look after their citizen, in a country that knows they have citizens, not a country that their citizens are masses. When your citizens are masses, you don't care what happens. The place where the countries that have citizens take care of their citizens. Countries that have masses don't bother what happens to the masses. After all, they're masses. So what do you expect? No, I don't think the government is going to do that. Yes, a country that has a people who have a country.
Are you there, KJ? We lost you. I'm not hearing you again. Okay. I think we lost KJ. When he comes back, I'll go back to him.
But other nations would even try to defend you. But we enjoy when we accuse our people, and that's why the new ambassador to Finland can tell Bola Ahmed Tinubu that his citizen was stopping them from having diplomatic relationship, and he would thank her for saying that. Please, anybody should quote me. Go and look through the records of the world countries in the world. Has anybody ever done that? Who has gone to present letter of credence? That you tell the person you are going to present a letter of credence because of your citizen that we could not go ahead with this, and he will thank you for doing what? For holding on to their citizen. It's a crazy place, I'm telling you guys. It's a crazy place. Sometimes you wonder whether the people even understand what it is to lead. as I am here, if you come and hold my son or my child for something that is wrong, I'm not going to side with you. No, I will first retrieve my child. I will also rebuke you for not, and then I will deal with my child one-on-one in my house. That is supposed to be how Africa works. But today we have leaders who they are only after themselves and how good they look in the public, not after whether they are living up to the dictates, the reason why the people voted them. No, it is all about them. And that's it. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Obi, welcome to the platform. Before I come to you, I'll go to Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony,
Sorry, can I
you,
just add something?
yeah,
AB,
go
I
ahead.
don't know who AB is. If I don't know why I'm asking that question, what are they doing with terror? Do the Americans support terrorists? Or do you think if an American is a terrorist in Nigeria, they will ask the Nigerian government to arrest them? You think so? I beg, make you do your research too before you come to this panel, because we also we don't just get up and talk. We do our research before we come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Tony, your take on this issue of should Nigerian president volunteer to bring Nigerians illegal immigrant home?
Well, if you look at the history of the Nigerian government in terms of its intervention in things like that, it doesn't have a very good record. Whether it's South Africa, whether it's Ukraine, or even within the West African sub-region. Right now, as we speak, um, Nigerians in Mozambique are experiencing great difficulty because of following the election. Their property shops have been looted. A couple of them have been killed. I have been looking, for news to see whether um, there's something the government is doing. I haven't heard. So that's a big challenge. We doesn't have that history until everything goes to the social media before they are not proactive. I would think that now that we are beginning to get feelers of what Donald Trump intends to do, that just like India, we will be proactive, begin to send out feelers, information. For instance, the Nigerian embassy, whether it's New York, whether it's DC or Atlanta, those consulates, they should be sending out information asking Nigerians who are not properly documented to come to the embassy and write down their names and so on, so that if there's something, first of all, you need to know the number. India knows the number of people who are undocumented. So you know how many people you're dealing with. You have a figure, statistics that you can work with. And then with that, you can even work, not just bringing them down to Nigeria, but what you're going to do thereafter when you bring them to Nigeria. But we don't have a good history. Even the IDP people, people who are internally displaced people in Nigeria, we'll see how they are treated. But I think that a government that is there for its people must be worried with this new policy in America and should, be looking for ways, to intervene and get them to and see how they can help these people, not just to bring them back to Nigeria, but also to some people will not be willing though, but not just to bring them back to Nigeria, not wait for them to be deported because the experience is harrowing sometimes. But getting them organized and getting them to come back, and then from there, they're going to send them to their various states, and then the states can deal with the fallout. That would be proper. But I should they do it? I think they should be thinking about it. But are they likely to do it? I don't think we have that character and that history. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tony, for that. Mr. Obi, thank you for joining. Your presence here is highly appreciated. So, what is your take on this issue? Mr. Tony said something very important. There are people in IDP looking for aids, and so when this, let's say, truly they're brought home, would they be taken to IDP, or would they what will happen to them in your own opinion? There's kind of a noise coming from your background, Mr. Obi.
Is that me?
Yes, I think so.
You can
Yeah.
hear a noise in my background.
Yeah.
I'm actually in an enclosure room.
Let me see. Everybody's muted. Okay, go ahead anyway.
So, thank you for having me, Electricity. I hope to have electricity back in Nigeria. Believe you me. Basically, I think the Nigerian system, the Nigerian world as it is, it's a different ballgame when you talk about repatriation of. Repatriation means you want to rehabilitate people. You want to probably improve their life more than what the present status or the state they are in whatever location they found themselves. But if you look at the beginning of the traveling situation, many left the country due to frustration. Many left based on opportunity. Then some left based on greener pasture. It depends on the classification of such individual. If somebody has sold all his belongings and has kind of exited the system here, that means he got nothing to fall back on. So when you are telling that person to come back, it means you're going to set that person up or set the family up. But you now look at the realities of the whole story, it's like a mirage. Because the people who are back home, who are multi-millions in number, that are graduated, that are well-able men and women, are roaming the street without jobs, without nothing to do. And government is not able to provide the basic necessities for them. You're talking of carrying a plane, flying down to each country to go and fly people down to come and put them into what situation? A worse situation? At least wherever they are, they can see light. They have water. They have. Some people live on the government wherever they are. Anyways, they are able to survive and eat. But Nigeria is a different ballgame. So I think you must fix the system first, the house, before you can talk of having such a secondary support to your citizens. They've not even done for those that are back home the basic needs. It's talk less of going to import or to bring back those that left here based on their own decision, their own volition. I had an experience of a young man that came to America. I just came then to visit New York. So I was going back. This guy was stranded.
Sorry, Mr. Obi. There's a beeping noise coming from your background.
Maybe it's because of the signal. Let me change my location.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Is it better?
Yeah.
There's a noise coming at the background. Is it me, or am I just hearing things?
No, not you. It's from Mr. Tony. Mr. Obi. So he has moved location, so it's much better now. Go ahead, sir.
Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's exactly what it is. I had an experience from your discussion before about an NGO program that was happening. We graduated from Unibend, me and my friends. And there was this guy that came with an NGO. So he was to employ my friend. So he got into the job anyway, while we're trying to get off a better situation. So having employed him, he practically made him the accountant who write report based on the NGO to the funders who were abroad. So this man will tell my guy to write down that he earns 250,000 naira. This I'm telling you, like 20-something years ago, in 2000 and 2003, about 250K. He was paying this guy 75,000 naira. And he made him write an agreement that he was going to stay with him for 2 years during that whatever contract he had for the program he was running. So the guy had no job, so he was stranded, so he had to write that agreement and enter the system. He now found out that he was signing a payroll of 250K. This guy will give him 75,000, and the rest cash are in the account for this guy to run with. And this guy is a deaconess in this church. I mean, a pastor in the church who preaches in the altar. To see how that country has been damaged. You know, so at the end of the day, I say you go to the same church with this guy with this kind of practice, and you still carry a Bible. All of you are disappointing me because you people are just accepting these wrong actions and making it look like a normal thing in this situation. So luckily for my guy, he got a job in the bank, Equatorial Trust Bank then, and he was to leave. This guy said he can't leave, or that he signed a 2 years bond with him, that he must stay for 2 years. I said, guy, really? I said, go meet him in the office with the so-called letter agreement to sign, tear it in his front, tore it in his front, and put it in his garbage, not throw it to his face, so put it in the garbage and walk out on him. Are you crazy? That is how bad it is. This NGO thing, they were all like washi, like 419, like an opportunist people who just use it to enrich themselves and their family only, while impoverishing other people that are around them and giving false report to the people who are sending this money to them abroad. That apart. Then you're talking of Nigerian system, a system that cannot provide light, cannot provide food, that cannot run a system to go and export people down. When people were stranded in was it not which country that they were fighting war? Was it not this guy that owns the airline that went to carry people? Government of Nigeria couldn't even do nothing. They were all talking up and down. They couldn't carry any action. It was an ordinary Nigerian that went there with his aircraft to evacuate Nigerians. So we're talking about bringing people back to come and settle them back home. I think it's just another way to say the impossible, because there's no home to settle back in the first place. It doesn't exist. Thank you.
Before I hand over to Adam, I will go to the comedy section. I will give you 1 or 2 minutes each to just weigh in on this comedy video we're about